let's go ahead and get started. I don't see any more people coming on the call, so I think we're good to get the ball rolling. So welcome everybody. Wednesday, March 31st. It's a beautiful day here in Central Oregon. All right, Dave, if you would put up the flag for us, we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. Right, okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. I don't see Dan today, and it looks like John has stepped away. Does somebody want to volunteer to do the invocation for us today? If not, I will pick someone. All right, Carl, it's all yours.
Bless this meeting to thy service and Redmond, Kiwanis in thy name. Amen.
And okay, so guest today, the only guest I see is Sarah, our speaker with Thrive of Central Oregon. I know we've heard from Thrive before, so I don't think that their organization needs any introduction, but Sarah will hear from you a little bit later. We've got a couple more things to get through first. So announcements, who's got any announcements today? Dan Tippy, I saw your hand first.
All right, so it's the first of the month tomorrow, and Friday is first Friday. It's our turn to serve a Jericho table again. I could use 1 or 2 volunteers. I already got one. Could use 1 or 2 more. Anybody interested?
Put me down, Dan. John.
All right, I got John. I need 1 more. Come on, let me see a hand. All right, thank you.
All right, Earl, go for it.
I just want to report on the bag collection, food collection on Saturday. We were able to collect 609 pounds of food that we gave to the food bank. Came in on about 38 blue bags, so we appreciate that. I'd really like to thank everybody that contributed. Roland helped me deliver this stuff, and I just really appreciate all the help you folks are giving. Now, the next collection is on the weekend of Memorial Day. So if you can collect it sooner from your people that you might be collecting from, that might be useful for them, particularly if they're going away for the weekend. So thank you very much. Appreciate that.
All right, Roland.
Yeah, all of you should have received an email from me regarding a invitation by Zoom to the Cascadia Kiwanis Club. And of course, if you read it, you know that the Kiwanis International president or governor, I'm not sure which it is, but Arthur Riley should be speaking to the group. So that's a rare opportunity, so I hope you can make it. So it's Monday, April 7th at 6 p.m. I know it's dinner time, but just tip your phone while you eat.
I'm in for that one. You can put me down, Roland.
I do. Yep.
Okay. Okay. I think I saw Earl's hand too. All right, so for birthdays, the only birthday I have this week is Tim Steele, who is Naomi Steele's husband. His birthday was yesterday. So if you happen to run into them, wish him a happy birthday. And then I've got May 1st on the calendar is going to be our flag hole clean out. That's 1 month from now. May 6th is going to be our prayer breakfast from 7 to 8:30 in the morning. Mid-May sometime, we're going to be doing a highway cleanup for our section of the highway. And then July 9th, tentative date for our golf fundraiser. So we've got some movement going on, which I'm excited about. So any other announcements before we move on? Earl.
I forgot it. We have elections coming up here in the month of May, and the nominating committee has been out working to find people to serve. We have found enough. It'd be nice to have some additional folks who might be interested in serving. some of the folks who have said they would do it wouldn't mind if somebody else stepped up. So if you would like to serve, please let me know. And I'd be glad to put your name down. Thank you.
Thanks, Earl. All right, Carl.
I was at Ridgeview High School this morning and talked to Karen Crouch, who is the mother of Garrett Crouch. He was a very active Key Club member at Ridgeview. He's now a junior at Linfield and is president of the Kiwanis Circle K Club there. And anyway, she couldn't say enough about the influence of Kiwanis on Garrett's life.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Okay, all right, so let's move on to Happy Dollars. Michelle, go for it.
I am so happy. It's been such a great week, you guys. So I'm going to put in $10 because I have 4 things to be happy about. So first of all, the kids are going back to school on the 19th full time. So I'm super excited about that our kids are getting back into school. It was so much fun to watch the Beavers. Even though they lost, at the end of Monday, it was so much fun to be a Beaver fan. So that was really exciting. Olivia, who was just here, she had to run, but she is nominated for Mr. and Mrs. RHS. So that is a fundraiser that the high school puts on, and they give money to the NICU unit at St. Charles. So she'll be doing a bunch of fundraising and having some fun over the next month or 2. And then Dave Shirley's going to put something up for me. So this is really cool, you guys. John and his dad and Danny all played on the Pendleton Roundup grounds. And so I wanted to show you this picture of the 3 of them. It's pretty cool that they all got to have that experience together. And they played on Monday and Redmond won. So sorry to Pendleton fans, but we're happy that they won. So those are my happy. You can tell I'm very happy.
I love it. Okay, who's next? Carl.
Well, I'd like to comment that Danny looked awfully malnourished in that photo compared to the others. But I'd have 5 happy dollars for our extended vacation in Kauai. We had a lot of rain the first half of our vacation, but overall it was very nice. We did spend 72 hours in quarantine, but our COVID jail, as we called it, was a very nice resort at the end, the north end of the island. So we're not seeking sympathy.
Carl, he's 6'2" and about 160 pound center.
All right, Earl, I saw your hand.
I have 2 happy dollars. One is I'm glad that the collection went so well on the food drive. And the other one is tomorrow we're leaving to go to California to see our kids for Easter. So that'll be fun.
I have 2 happy dollars to put up. One's a good thing, one's a not so good thing. First of all, I got my 2nd COVID shot yesterday, my wife and I, and so far we're doing pretty good. Second thing is I'm continually confused about the human race. We were going down Highland over by 6th Street, down the corner by that yarn place, and a bunch of yahoos yelling and screaming for everybody to take their mask off. That does not make any sense to me. If we want to get better, we're going to have to follow the rules, and keep these things on. Otherwise, we'll keep the virus going. So that upset me quite a bit.
I'll put in 5. I'll put in 5 because I'm happy it's almost 70 degrees out there.
All right, I'm seeing more hands. Let's go with Josh first.
I have a couple of happy dollars, one for the Beavers making it to the Elite 8 and another for baseball opening season or opening days tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right, Cindy, go for it. Oh, you're on mute.
You'd think I would have figured that out by now. I have 5 happy dollars because my daughter, who's in Louisiana, in New Orleans, just got her second COVID shot. So I'm thinking that even though she was in a really hotbed of, of COVID, looks like she came out of it okay.
Nice. That's good news. All right, Dan Tippy, I saw your hand a couple times.
Yeah, I got a couple happy dollars. Well, how about 5 happy dollars because we're headed off to Seattle for the weekend to spend it with the kids, and with the 5 of them, we're so happy to be going there to see them.
All right. Okay, anybody else before we move on? Okay. All right. So your joke for today.
Hello.
Oh, John.
Yep. I got a couple dollars. We'll just make it 5. First of all, just a great week of basketball for men's and women's for the state of Oregon, and for the Pac-12. Still have UCLA in the Final Four, so that's great for our conference. But it's just been fun seeing the success by all the programs. Also, just as Michelle talked earlier, it was kind of a little bit of a bittersweet weekend. Pendleton came to Redmond on Friday, and Redmond won 27 or 28-0 against my old Buckaroos. And then going to Pendleton on Monday with the JV and winning 42-26 there. A little bittersweet. It's fun to be back in town, fun to be back in the Roundup grounds, but it's kind of strange being on the visitor sideline. So, but nonetheless, kids had a great experience. None of them played in a place that place will hold 17,000 people. So it's something unique and new for them, but good to get the win. And right now we're sitting at 4-0. So
how do you decide who to root for?
Oh, I root for the Redmond, of course. I'll root for Pendleton any other time they're not playing my son's team. So
gotcha. All right. Okay, so our joke for today. All right, so this one's not a question, it's more of a statement, but I know you'll enjoy it. It says, singing in the shower is all fun and games until you get soap in your mouth. Then it becomes a soap opera. Okay. All right, Sarah, the floor is all yours for your presentation.
All right. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm sorry we're on a screen, but I'm so happy to see you all. I'm glad that groups like yours keep meeting. I know I'm desperate for connection these days, and I can see there's a lot of that happening here, which is awesome. I'm just going to share screen as soon as I find the button that I was working to make sure I knew the location of. There we go. So I am the executive director of Thrive Central Oregon. I think, well, I think many of you know who we are, but in case you don't, I'll give you a little recap. So I'm actually the founding director of Thrive Central Oregon and started this organization back in 2014 as a pilot project just to see if we could help bridge the gap for folks between the services they could use and the services that were available. Sorry, get my screen all set up here. Anyway, so we started the organization. I started the organization back then. And pretty quickly, it really started focusing on connecting people to affordable housing. So far and away, the bulk of what we do is help people move into affordable housing or create affordable housing through housing vouchers or other funding streams. And just connect to services that are available in the community. This slide shows a number of the things we do, but about 80% of what we do is housing specific. You can imagine that started looking a lot different this last year. We our model has always been that we meet people face to face. Generally, that was libraries, meal sites like Jericho Table that I know was mentioned earlier. But about 13 or 14 different locations across Central Oregon, where my staff would sit with folks one-on-one and just work on whatever it was they needed to work on. We pretty much changed that model overnight back in March of 2020 when we all started working from home. So then our services were switched to being over the phone. That was such a different way for us to do our work. Specifically, our message line before March said, please don't leave a message, just come to a walk-in site so we can sit down and meet you and work together on what you need to connect to or accomplish. And then overnight we were saying, don't come to a walk-in site, they're all closed, leave us a message and we'll call you back. So we got pretty creative, and a lot of the agencies that we work with to help make those connections, so like housing providers, affordable housing complexes, food stamps, all those kind of offices, they converted to online applications and verbal releases of information and things like that. So that was a huge help to us. And so we just kept plugging along. We have about 400 appointments per month, and there are myself and I have 6 staff that are fielding all those phone calls. Once folks understood that our model had changed, that you now could find us over the phone instead of in person, we found that we actually increased access. So some places like our more rural communities, or people that had limited access to transportation or had physical or mental health issues that made it hard for them to come see us in the library, were now able to reach us by phone. So pre-pandemic, we held about 300 appointments per month. And then as the pandemic started, we were about 400. So we're quite busy. I feel like we're a call center at this point. We've also had a lot of benefit through CARES Act dollars that for the first time in the organization's history gave us the ability to actually help people with their rent and their mortgage and their utilities. So historically, when folks had those needs, we were working to connect them with Neighbor Impact or churches or different other entities that might have some money to put toward an emergency rent payment. But through CARES Act dollars, we were able to create funds, have those funds ourselves internally, and directly help people get connected to that assistance. To date, we've put out over $500,000 of assistance, specifically to Bend and Redmond. That's where the bulk of our assistance has come from thus far through those cities. We're really excited. Just about a week ago, we were approved for some funding through the state, and that will give us another, I have a whiteboard over here that I have to keep track of things on. That'll give us close to $700,000 more dollars for emergency rent assistance, and that'll be across all of Central Oregon. That funding specifically, we reached out to our partners at the Jefferson County Health Department, Latino Community Association, and FAN, because we're really working to get that money to folks that are in very rural communities, are people of color that have really historically struggled to be connected to those kind of benefits. So I expect to have those assistance, that agreement in place and that assistance available for folks in the next month. No, that's not working. There we go. So like I said, currently our services are available over the phone and online. If you haven't been to our website, I encourage you to do so. We try to keep a lot of information on our website, but also make it pretty user-friendly. There's a drop-down tab if you go there that shows different resources. There's different resource sheets there that a lot of partners that we work with share with the people they're working with. And we're always working to keep that information updated for them. Our services, while they're over the phone right now, really do cover all of Central Oregon, including Warm Springs and North Klamath. Our services are open to everyone. Anyone that seeks, is interested in working with us is welcome to. There aren't any guidelines or requirements for them. We also have the ability to provide services in Spanish, which has been really helpful. We know that there's such a high need in our Latino and Hispanic population to connect to the housing and food support and medical and mental health support, that we're pretty, we just really value that and are grateful that we're able to provide that service to those populations. Like I said, our website has a lot more information on it too. There's also a place there at the bottom of the first page when you go that would show you how to be on our mailing list. We've started a newsletter that we send out monthly, just I would say at the end of last year, that we're happy to send out to anyone who's interested in receiving it, that just kind of gives an update about what we're doing now, what our resource support and funding support looks like at the moment, what our needs are, and then some stories. So sometimes there's a staff story, there's always a story this coming month, the story is coming out about a woman that we work with in the Redmond area, and her story about getting her first vaccine shot. So this last year has given us the opportunity to do a lot of work directly with the Oregon Health Authority to connect information and vaccines to people of color and individuals in the area and people that are qualifying, and just help people understand more about that program and what's available. We're also getting ready for our Spring for Thrive event, which was slated to have its first, our inaugural fundraiser was due April of 2020. So we postponed that last year. And it looks a little different this year, but if anyone's working with a business or has a connection, can help us get some support for and to businesses, that's what this event's about. Actually, I guess this is live for me, but I don't think it's not live for you. I'm just sharing my screen. I don't know if maybe I have the ability to send out some information to the group when we're done. The reason, a primary reason that I want to talk about the Spring for Thrive event is we fully recognize that businesses have really had a rough year. And because we are, our work is about supporting individuals and families to get their needs met, we're really using this year's event as a promotion about businesses too. So not asking, but not requiring any kind of financial commitment from a business, but saying, hey, if you could use some marketing to help people better understand what you're offering and how people can come and come to your business, we want to use that in our event. And so we can share your information if you can share ours, and that can be as easy as just tagging us in social media or Facebook or mailing lists, things like that. So so there's a lot going on for that. And that is, a new and building event that we're starting just this year.
Sarah, if you send that information to that MindSite email that I sent you, we'll try to get it on the website for you. We already have a link to your website. That's going to be
wonderful. Okay, thank you. Our website also is where our application for assistance is. So that assistance, we currently have assistance for Redmond. That's rent and mortgage assistance for anyone that's had a COVID impact and is within a certain income level. So you'll find that on the website. And then as soon as I have the agreement in place for that additional funding, that'll be on the website also. And we just really urge everyone that knows about us, all of our partners, to get that out to their friends, family, neighbors. So many people have been hit so hard this last year that we're just seeing just a wide range of individuals that are coming and seeking connection to that kind of financial assistance. And so if there's anything you can do to help us get the word out, that would be fantastic. Are there any questions? I would love to talk more.
Is there a waiting list for housing right now, or how's it going with that? Finding housing for people right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. There sure are waiting lists. I would say waiting list and rent amount kind of go hand in hand. So the more affordable housing is, the longer the waiting list is. And the closer we get to market rate rentals, like the type you would find just through like a rental company or on Craigslist, the shorter the waiting lists are. When we're working with someone who can pay market rate rent, or they have, for example, a housing voucher that helps subsidize their rent so that they're able to pay market rate rent, we find that we can usually get them housed in about 1 or 2 months. So it's a pretty quick turnaround. We're a little bit like real estate agents when it comes to affordable housing. So we really have a good finger on the pulse of what's available and what the guidelines are for different properties and how to help people navigate that really effectively to get them housed. I am actually just starting to see more movement too. Definitely the first several months of the pandemic, we saw really low movement where people weren't moving out of, staying with friends or family. Like everyone was just kind of hunkered down and waiting for things to calm down a bit. And we're starting to see more movement where people are moving in and out of properties, and that helps the people we work with because it just creates openings. Yes.
Do you have any trouble finding employment for folks who are looking for it? We see in the paper there's all kinds of openings, and I just wondered if they were institution that connected with you to find employees.
So I don't generally have businesses connect with us looking for employees, but we definitely have individuals connect with us looking for employment. And so, yes, I agree. I keep finding more openings for employment than I would expect. And I think a lot of times, anecdotally, the folks that are talking to me about employment come into it assuming there's not going to be employment, and so maybe haven't really looked. And then when we start going through the employment department or Craigslist or just different larger businesses in the area that hire, we find a lot of options. So then we're able to help people with that. A lot of those applications are all online now. So more often than not, what I find is that's the barrier for people getting their application in, is kind of complicated online application systems, but we can help people with that.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So Sarah, thank you very much for what you do and for sharing with us today. We really appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely. I am happy to be here. If you want to, I'll just send my information with the flyer and everything else. If there's anything else people want to ask me about, you're more than welcome to call or email.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let me find my screen so I can stop sharing with you. There we go. Thanks.
All right, thank you again, Sarah. Do we have any final questions before we wrap up for today? I don't want to cut things short unnecessarily. So
No, I just want to express my appreciation for all the work you guys are doing.
Yes, very, very valuable resource in the community. We do appreciate that. Yes. Okay, all right. So your thought for the day today is, if happiness is currency, how rich do you think you are? All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you. We'll talk to you later.